Device 1 2 3 1 2 3. I hope you can hear me. So today we're going to be doing something different. So I'm going to analyze a replay from Krigi. Forgive me if I'm mispronouncing it. So this is a Zerg versus Protoss on Knockout. Let's see. I've seen that replay already, just like on very high speed to get an overview of what happened, and I'm thinking we will just rewatch it a few times, each time looking at it from a different angle, touching different things. So right now, at the beginning, we are focused on this first run, let's say, we are focused on the build order. So I'm not going to go into like very pro level or high level details, because yeah, on that level that Krigi is at the moment, there are more important things that he can improve than getting into things like mineral boosting. So at the moment we can see that Krigi is not mineral boosting and drones are not really mining from proper patches, but that's not the most important thing on that level. If Krigi wants, I can do a video on mineral boosting and where to send your drones, but yeah, not now. So okay, so we can see that this is not a 9 pool, an overpool build. Let's start from the beginning. So an overpool build in mind. So this overall goes to the closest spot. That's okay. If you're planning to do overpool, that's okay. That's where you send your overlord. The other one, let's see where it goes. You send it cross spawn. Okay, we'll see later where it goes. I would probably send it towards the natural here. And now, okay, alright, so here, let's go back a bit. So drones. Now you are making 1, 2, 3 drones, right? First one goes to minerals. Second one should go scouting, should go for scouting, and the reason is, if you find a probe here, you can use that first drone to just go directly to your third base location, so the probe cannot delay your expansion. So, and also you need scouting basically to be extra safe. Just always scouting ZVP. There are many things Protoss can do. Right now, this Protoss is not playing a proper opening, so if you scouted this, you could use it as your to your advantage basically. Okay, so this drone wanted to make an expansion, and you can see that because the probe was here, your expansion is slightly late. Slightly, that's not a big deal, but slightly late. It could be at 300 minerals if your first probe, if your first drone went here, saw that probe, and went here there immediately to make an expansion, and then the follow-up drone should go for scouting basically. So yeah, at the moment the map is blind. You don't know where the Protoss is, and you don't know what's the opening, and that's an important thing to know. Okay, 4 links, that's okay. So if you play blindly, then yeah, then you make 4 links. If you have proper scouting, you can make just 2. Just to check the proper. Okay, so I saw that in my previous go, I saw that you went for this 5 hatch before gas build. I think this is the build kind of promoted by Soma a few years ago. It's an okay build, but I don't like it personally, and I think Soma doesn't like it either anymore. So I haven't seen him playing that build in a long time. Never in a pro league. Nothing this. At least when he came back from military, I didn't see him playing that build. So basically, what I personally don't like about this build is that it allows Protoss a lot of flexibility, and you have no Spire, at least Spire, not an early Spire, and I don't like playing ZVP without Spire. I will say more about it later, but in general I prefer the regular 3 hatch layer openings, so I have my Spire on time. Okay, these links are here for scouting, that's okay. You need to leave them there basically. I know that can be APA, like attention consuming, but you need to leave them here. You need to know how many zealots are there, if they are moving out or not, and this overlord should go there. It should be there to see them move out. So you can't let Protoss surprise you with these zealots. It could be 2 gate opening. You couldn't know that because you didn't have an overlord here. So you need to know how many zealots are out, so you can prepare in advance. So right now you have 4 links, 4 more making here, and to counter 3 zealots you need a bit more, I think, 10, or you can have 8, but you need to keep them together and try to surround zealots like this. You just lost 2 and didn't really do damage. So it's super important this in the early game that you manage your links properly. You need to just keep them together. So follow the zealots, group them together with the other links, and then fight the zealots. Okay, so here you have 6 versus 3. That's something you can't win, so you should not engage. I know they will start chasing your drones. You just send your drones away. You're just losing. Now, because you didn't have an overlord here, you couldn't tell if he's sending more zealots or not, so you kind of overmade the links. Are you still making more? Yeah. So you overmade links. These extra links could be drones. This is like a really important thing to look after in the early game. The links to zealots ratio. So you should not make extra links if that's not necessary. So you want drones, you don't want links. Now these links can do nothing. He's back safely and you can do nothing. Of course you are kind of threatening a run by, or maybe even threatening that you can counter these zealots, but the distance between his natural and your third is long enough that you can always make extra links if you want to, and these could be drones. Okay, so now we are, like I said, we are looking at the build order. So let's go back a bit, because we have, let's go back here. The moment when you have 5 hatches, I think this was the moment where you need to start building your gas. Yes, that's it. And as soon as your gas is here, is mining, you should start building another one. But we were fighting Zalos. So yeah, Hydra then. Some initial Hydra when the Hydra then is ready. Yeah, that's good, that's good. So we can protect the overlords and make sure the overlords gather, like they keep them close to your bases, so your Hydra can defend them. Actually, this one is lost. Maybe it will survive, maybe it won't, but this one should stay a bit closer. These guys should be here, so you know Hydra can protect the entrance. You don't need one. You don't need one here. You need one here to be DT proof. It's always good to check when the Protoss starts his Forge upgrade. I think on this level it might not tell you too much, but when you're on like B level and above, then this will tell you if they go early DT or Mass Corsair versus standard build. It's not making cores, that's strange. That's a very late course. So yeah, this guy is here, this guy is here, that's okay. Upgrades, yeah. Defending, you are making layer, that's nice. Speed, that's nice. Okay, this DT, I think he chased away your overlord. Yeah, so your overlord needs to go back ASAP. So that's the thing you need to remember. Keep your OVs with your drones, keep your Hydras around so you can defend against cores and against DT. This guy, as soon as this guy is ready, the Evo chamber, you must start an upgrade. That was like a very big damage, very big early damage. 8 drones, this is a lot. This makes a difference in the mid game actually, because now you need to re-drone, and yeah, that makes a difference. You're starting your expansion at 9 minutes, that's okay, that's proper timing. Okay, no Spire. I would make Spire, to be honest with you. I would make Spire, even if you don't plan to use it in terms of making mutas. At least so Protoss is aware that the Spire is there, because then, and that's why I like Spire builds. Even though that you don't have to use it, but if Protoss is aware that Spire is there, they need to be ready for potential muta switch or for muta in general. So they will invest in cannons, they will invest in some anti-air, like maybe 5 cores with +1, or maybe Dark Archon. So the point is they need to spend money, and they will usually spend more than Spire is worth. And basically Spire, even if you don't go for muta, you need Scourge. You need Scourge to chase, to threaten cores, because now your overlords, you don't have too many on the map, but if you had overlords on the map, they are not safe because you don't have Scourge. You can't kill cores. And later on they might try to drop you, so they might try to send some sneaky drops. So you need Scourges to counter these drops, and you need Scourges to help defending, so basically to help kill observers. So that's why I think like 3-hatch layer Quick Spire is a better opening, more flexible, and pretty much everyone on pro level now, you know, plays that or a variation of that opening. But I know that this opening is a bit easier to play. That's for sure. So it's easier to play. Okay, these links, it's not a big deal that they died, but you could utilize them a bit better. So instead of letting them die, you could spread them you know, all around. So one link here, one link here, one link here, one link here. You know, you had plenty, so you could put them on almost every expansion. Maybe a link here or there, so you can use them for scouting basically, and you can see when they start their expansions. So yeah, instead of just letting them die, there is the first engagement. So you have some Hydra, like supply-wise, you are very close to what Protoss has. So you should be able to defend. Okay, here I think you need to, when you know that you let them enter this zone, just evacuate these drones. Just evacuate them in advance so they don't storm them. And this is too late. Making lurkers at this moment, I think this is not the right approach. You should use these Hydra to fight Protoss army instead. And after you dealt with the army, then you can turn them into the But actually, let's check one thing. Because I think when did you start? So let's check what. Let's focus on this. This is the moment where you should start the upgrade. 8:45, let's say. Okay, you started it a minute later. So imagine you would have lurkers a minute earlier, and that would be easy peasy defense. Easy peasy, no lost drones, probably you wouldn't lose 5 drones. They would probably just keep attacking you. So now your lurkers, the upgrade is already done. You should start your lurkers immediately, basically, once the upgrade is done. So this is something really crucial for Zerg, you know. You need to make sure that your upgrades, that you have them one after another. So as soon as Hydra then is there, get your speed. As soon as speed is there, get your range. As soon as range is there, get your lurker. As soon as lurker aspect is done, morph them. So this is a sequence that you need to practice to be able to hold all these pushes with maybe not no effort, but with ease. About it other than retreating them to your base. Adding Sunkens here is good, and we can see that Evo Chamber is doing nothing. So the same as with Hydra upgrades, same with Evo Chamber upgrades. As soon as Evo is ready, start your upgrade. As soon as your upgrade is ready, start another one. This is something Zerg needs to look after. Very that's just super important for the Zerg player. So now a comment on this. You have 8 lurkers and you still have plenty of gas left, but you need to defend a few places. So I would spend this gas on lurkers still. 8 is not enough. So Protoss most likely will come from this direction or from this direction. So you should have a few here, a few here, and maybe some of them unburrowed, so you can move them quickly depending on what direction Protoss comes from. You need to have some here, like 1 or like 3, you know, so it's not super easy for them to cross the bridge. Very often when you have good defense here, they will just try to force their push here, and from here to natural to main it's very short way, so you need to be able to stop them. You need to have like 3 lurkers at least in this place, and that base as well. This is your third gas, a very crucial base, so definitely more sunkens here, 3, 4. Don't be afraid to build like 4 sunkens here and 3, 4 lurkers at least, so you can be safe. If he wanted with this push, if he pushed you here, that base is dead basically. Okay, he started his third. This is a mineral only, and the important thing about this base, on this part of the map, it's on high ground and it's mineral only. There is no point fighting for it. If they started the base here, let them. Ignore it. Assume that this base is just there and you can't do anything about it. And this base is not really that important. This is not a gas base, so it will give him maybe some cannons, maybe some zealots, and that's it. What you should do now with these Hydra, first of all, don't fight Protoss army with just 2 groups of Hydra. You can use them to like maneuver over the map, try to maybe cherry pick some High Templars if you can. But the most important thing that you can do with this Hydra is not to lose them, first thing, and then kill like zealots running on the map. Try to slow down or even cancel or like delay the fourth for as long as possible. And now you also kind of weakened your position a lot by moving these lurkers here. They should stay here. Your Hydra should go back and defend on your terms, on your conditions. Now you kind of attacked him, which makes your lurkers very, very, very weak. You can see that all the goons can hit these lurkers. Storm can hit them. Here they are on the high ground, much better protected. The most important thing that lost the game here was that you engaged him here with your Hydra, lost plenty of them, plenty of Hydra, and then once he was close, instead of just hiding behind lurkers, you took your lurkers and you just attacked him, which was the main reason you lost that fight. And from there was no return. Now let's have a look at the game from the other angle. So let's go back to the very beginning. Maybe not the very beginning. I want to just talk about drone count a bit. Okay, let's speed this up. We are focused on drones only. So your base, here you have 9 patches, here you have 7, right? Here you have 7 patches. Already you have more than 9 drones, so you have more than 1 drone per patch in this base, but this base is still not saturated. So in the early game you want to have 1 drone per patch. So here 2 drones sent here immediately, so to optimize your mining. Only when you have full saturation, so when you have not full saturation, only when you have 1 drone per patch in every base, then you can start over saturating your bases. So yeah, this was the optimization you could make here. So here at the moment nothing is mining. But we will see. I will speed the game a bit. So we are just looking at the drones now, nothing else, just drones. Yeah, I can tell you that. Yeah, the saturation at this point should be slightly better. So here we have like just 6. Here we have now just 7, and here we have 8. So like I said, 7 patches, but you already have 8 drones. So make sure that this basically develop a habit that you from time to time just check all your bases and select all the drones and count them, and you can see that, okay, I'm undersaturated, so I need some drones here. I'm undersaturated, I need some more here, and here I'm probably oversaturated already, so I can transfer some drones. But in general, now you just made your first 3 Hydra or 4. That is enough. Yeah, we should drone up. We should drone up heavily. This is the phase when you need to make sure you have enough economy, so you can then start like producing Hydra non-stop. So here you have good saturation for now. Basically, you have 9 minerals here, so you should aim for at least 12 drones, something like 12 to 15, not more. Here you have 7 minerals. You should aim for max 12 drones, and same here, max 12 drones. There is no. So here you are already. You have more than 12. So definitely this guy should go here or there. Just make sure that you have this habit to count drones. Then you know how many you can transfer somewhere else, or when you can stop making them. Right? But sometimes you overdrone, you don't make it. Now he killed some of your drones. We need to get some more. Here still you are undersaturated, so that's the issue. Here you are undersaturated. One more, you could make one more. Here you can have few more. And here and in this base you have like also 7, so like 12 drones here is fine. So that was drone wise, and this could affect the outcome of your final battle, of course, because if your drone saturation is better, then you have more resources, then you can power more hatches. By the way, number of hatches, we have 1, 2, 3, 5. At this moment of the game, it's 13 minutes in. We are 30 minutes in. You should have 8 hatches basically. If you have 3 bases, then you can basically, that's enough to power 6 hatches. But when you have your 4th, you need to add 2 more, so total 8. And basically this is a good place for a hatch. Here I would just recommend no more than 2, because then you have not enough space to build your sunkens, build your defense. So 2 here, 3 here, 1 here, 2 here. Does it count? So 2, 4, 5 and 8. Yeah, 8 hatches. You can add more when you build your 5th, but on 3 bases, just remember, on 3 bases you want 6, on 4 bases you want 8. That's the number you can. That's basically, this is the number of drones. So this is the number of hatches that your drone count can power. Kind of visualize how many drones you need per number of hatches. Just remember this build. There is this build 973. So you have like 9 here, 7 here, 3 here. That gives you, if I'm correct, 9, 7, 16 plus 3, 19. plus 3 in the gas, that gives you 22 drones. And so 19 drones in minerals, 3 drones in gas, and that's like barely enough to power 3 hatches that constantly produce Hydra, but that's not enough if you want to include extra tech and upgrades. So if you have 22 drones to power 3 hatches, you need at least 44 drones to power 6 hatches, right? Ideally more than that, because you want to afford upgrades, you want to afford some tech. So at least 44 when you have 6 hatches. And then 50 something when you have 8. It's fine. So we touched like really important things so far. How to set up your defense and how to engage Protoss. Oh, there is one more thing I didn't tell you about how to engage Protoss. If we go back, there was this moment where you actually when you started moving out with your Hydra. So now, when you feel like you should, you have this temptation that, hey, I cannot just sit idly, I need to do something with my army. So the best thing you can do now is just to wait for Protoss to attack you probably, and just safely tech and expand. And if you want to be extra efficient with your defense, you can send 2 groups of Hydra somewhere here, like in the middle of the map. He shouldn't know that your Hydra is there, so you need overlords to be able to spot these guys. You need to kill all the free running zealots, etc. So you keep your army here. Then when Protoss attacks you, when they fight with your defense, when they already used up some storms, then you attack them from behind, and you basically squash their army between your defense and your moving like mobile army. So this is when Protoss usually loses the whole initial army, and this is when Zerg enters late game with advantage, with big advantage. So that's what I want to add. But yeah, we want to have a look at the replay again, and this time we will be focused on macro. So, macro, what I mean by macro? I mean larva management. As you know, you can have maximum 3 larvae per hatch. So if we end up in a situation where there is 3 larvae, I'm waiting for that moment, I'm sure it will come. You are still okay. Let's wait a bit more. Okay, now we have this moment. This is a moment that Zerg should avoid, should try to avoid. You should never allow. I'm talking about perfect scenario. You should never allow 3 larvae in your hatch, because that means that now this hatch cannot produce more larvae, so you are just wasting your macro potential. Idle 3 larvae, meaning you are wasting. You are just wasting larvae. You could have more drones, you could have more army if you didn't waste larvae. But yeah, so let's just focus on larva management right now. I'll be just jumping between your hatches. So far it's not that bad. There was only one moment where you had 3 larvae, but other than that it's fine, still fine. 2 is fine, just 3 is when we need improvements. So you can, when you analyze your replays, you can analyze them as well by looking at your larva management and see if there is room for improvements there. You can see that here we have 3 larvae. Yeah, here we had 3. So let's speed up. In general, let's try to figure out. Yeah, this is not looking good. here as well. Looks like you kind of take care of these two hatches. Keep forgetting about this one. And sometimes keep forgetting about but this one looks like, yeah, like it's not under a hotkey or something. Yeah. So yeah, again, 3 larvae here, 3 here, 3 here. I'm kind of, that's why I ask you to record your point of view, because now I don't really know how you manage your hatcheries. Basically, you should have them all hotkeyed. So this should be like, let's say if you start from number 5, this should be 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 0. All of them should be under hotkeys. So then you can constantly spam these hotkeys and produce Hydra while focusing on something here like fighting, you know. So you should be able to produce from your 6 hatches. You should be able to produce without looking at them, without manually looking at them. So just from the hotkeys, just like this, right? These cycles over and over again. Once you have 8 hatches, then you kind of bind. So you should have one more here. So you have like 1, 2, 3, sorry, 5. This is hotkey 5, hotkey 6, 7, 8, 9, 0 would be here probably. And here you have 2 hatches, so you bind them with F4. So this is your F4 location. So basically you then do this cycle, and then you press F4, select Hydra, and that's your whole Hydra cycle. And you need to develop this habit macro constantly. You don't need to do that every 5 seconds. You have like every 30 seconds is okay, because then you make sure that you have no 3 idle larvae. Every 20 seconds is even better, because sometimes you miss one hotkey or 2 hotkeys. So yeah, larva management, that's another thing you can improve by properly binding your hatches and just constantly practicing that macro cycle. You can practice it offline. You don't need to do that in the game. You can, even in Notepad, you can spam this combination in Notepad, right? And make sure you are comfortable. The last thing we're going to look at is your decision making in terms of tech. So let's say, so we already know you went for Hydra for gas. Now you go Lyre. At some point you will do the Evo. You will have the Evo chamber. Here you expand it. Now, when you have your 4th base in place, let's say, it's a good moment to start thinking about what kind of game you want to play. There are 2 scenarios now. You can stay on layer for a bit longer and just be like heavy lurker Hydra, but this requires a very, very active play from Zerg. Zerg needs to be like the aggressive one. You cannot be passive with that style. And this is a harder one to play, at least on the lower levels. So what I suggest you that you become a hive guy, that you have 4 bases, hive tech, and once you have the filers, you grind the Protoss down. So definitely right now the 4th is in place. You should already start thinking about, instead of this upgrade, add a queen nest, so you can have your hive much quicker than you had it in this game. And in general, don't go for this upgrade. You don't need it in the early game, you don't need it in the mid game. The only time you might need this one is when you kind of have very late game and Protoss has extra bases like extra main, so that's when you might consider a drop to try to kill the extra main. Other than that, this is waste of money. There are some maps where this upgrade is okay, like Match Point is one of them, Jane Doe is the other one. But yeah, don't waste money on this. Better to spend it on quicker hive. And so yeah, your hive is definitely a bit too late. It should be already morphing. You should be already morphing, so good timing is now. Now you should have your hive in place, start your 3 evo chambers, start your cracklings, and then add your defilers and start your defilers upgrade. Yeah. So yeah, once you are comfortably sitting on 4 bases with defilers, Protoss should not be able to kill you. They can starve you, they can try to take as many expansions as possible, but they should not be able to kill you if you defend properly. Lurkers and Swarm make Zerg invincible. And then you just then there is just another level of theory how to finish Protoss. And it's not easy. I hope that was useful. And also one more indicator, if you look at your minerals and gas and you have plenty, that tells you that something was not right with your macro. Maybe not enough hatches, maybe not enough microcycles. Yeah, that's it. I hope that was useful. If you need more tips, let me know.